Our final speaker tonight is Nick Wheeler, one of the founding members of Industrial Arts Studio. Nick's approach blends industrial process with artistic expression, rooted in physical making and big picture inquiry. Sorry, please hold. He'll close the night with reflections on how IAS sparks creativity through space making, experimentation, and shared vision of the creative process that thrives right here at 718 Hertel. Let's hear it for Nick.
All right. Hey, everybody. I'm just trying to remember what I learned in public speaking class back in community college right now. But I'm going to tell you a story about the development of this space and all of the work that went in behind the scenes to be able to do work in this space. So this was my first studio on Seneca Street downtown in Buffalo, New York. It's a 1,000 square foot commercial space. It used to be a pawn shop. I moved in originally with a good friend, Landon Maurice, who's a fashion and textile artist, and we traded labor for rent, and we got about a year's worth of free rent out of that deal. It was pretty nice. But doing so, we also accomplished various projects around the property, including some major restructuring of the floor before we could really move in. And also moving two 6,000-pound safes out of the former pawn shop, which was pretty fun. We had to restructure the basement floor so that way, we didn't cave it in when we rolled them out the front door because they were so heavy. But shortly after we moved in, so did Quincy Casca, good friend and current studio mate, and another fashion artist, Austin Goyette. This was all kind of part of a larger project that was happening at the time, which was my master's thesis at the School of Architecture and Planning. And the space kind of let me kind of discover my style as an artist and what I call myself is also an architect sometimes. And I've always, it kind of allowed me to work on pieces like this, which are, sorry, give me 1 second, let me check my notes. So this is the tough part because I grew up as an artist and I find myself in the building trades after going to architecture school. So there's this internal dialogue that's always going on, right? It's kind of this tension between art and craft. That's the hard part. This is the easy part. We moved 2 years later into this space, West Ave on the Upper West Side of Buffalo with 5 people. We got Lucas Fetzko in the back and CJ Ties. I don't think he's here tonight, but they did automotive work in the front, and me, Kaz, and Quincy did some woodwork in the back. It's 4,500 square foot, much more industrial than the former space, but allowed us to acquire equipment like this. So on the left, you can see this is a pin router. We found in North Tonawanda from a company that was closing down. And on the right is this big, beautiful bandsaw right there that we acquired from a pattern maker shop down near Pennsylvania. And we've acquired this old machinery primarily because it was affordable, and with that comes a lot of maintenance, right? So this machine is actually right here. This is a 100-year-old joiner, 16-inch Oliver joiner, which was completely restored at one point. So while this space on West Avenue was so great and allowed us to scale and improve the quality of our work, it also proposed some challenges. We had no heat. We huddled around this stove, which was kindly donated by Chris Romano. Thank you very much. And we also had no running water, except for the water that came through the roof. And once a year during the spring, it came up through the sewers when everything flooded. So that was nice too. But despite all those challenges, we were still able to improve the quality of our work. And you can see here, this is a little table I made, but I was able to scale up, creating more larger, more monolithic pieces, using machines like this big bandsaw and this big joiner to kind of carve larger blanks of wood. So all the while, we were enjoying this wonderful space, having a great time. I was constantly thinking about the future, what's next, how do we improve, and I toured a lot of different spaces in Buffalo, and we found this place finally, in which we're in now. So here we are in Hertel, in Industrial Arts Studio, and it's a 70,000 square foot building. The portion we're in is about 10,000, but obviously it's much more industrial than the previous places. We've got 3-phase electricity, we've got loading docks and forklifts, we've even got heat in bathrooms, which is very nice. And we're currently leasing about 6,500 square feet, and we should be here for at least 4 more years, maybe longer. So some of the improvements we've made, we've got this nice modular dust collection system and these electrical buses, which allow us to install machines and adapt the shop quickly and easily. We've also built ourselves a wonderful office, and we're currently installing a spray booth on the other side of this wall that you might have noticed. All the while still collecting machinery and improving our capabilities. So this guy right here, part of the reason we bought it is because it's like the brother to this machine over here, but we got it from a local woodworking shop in Buffalo for really cheap because it was left outside in the rain for a couple weeks. Or no, I don't know how long it was outside, but it took me a couple weeks to repair it because we had to tear it apart and put it all back together. But because of these new capabilities, I scaled up my work even more. This is my first commission in this kind of sculptural furniture realm. And I used that old Bridgeport mill back there to create some custom steel connectors and the joinery. All the while, our furniture finishing capabilities have improved because of things like a spray booth. Got a lacquer finish on this, oak stained black with some epoxy, but there's this theme going on, right? So as the space has improved, so has the quality of our work, and that has begun to bleed into my professional career as well. So we finished this product, Kaz Quincy and I, along with help from Jack Wakely and CJ Ties, among other subcontractors. This totally custom kitchen that was part of a larger residential remodel, both kitchen, bathroom, and stairwell. This is my first complete start to finish design build project. Super proud of that. And then the last thing is that this space has done to improve our life and our quality of work is being able to host events like this, right? And we want to do more of these in the future. And we want to continue to expand this interdisciplinary community that we have started here. So thank you to the Buffalo Architecture Foundation, and thank you all for coming. This has been a lot of fun.